It was a it was a show that happened. That's the thing I can say about it. I didn't hate it. Didn't feel strongly about it or anything. Um, but yeah, I'm here bagging up some figures. Um, we'll talk about some figures. We'll talk about Survivor Series. And yeah, let's see what we got first up. This is the Paul Heyman Elite from a few sets ago. This is not the Chase one. He's like really like I don't like that his suit jacket doesn't close. I like it, but I don't. Cause like you never saw him like this, but at the same time, probably makes him a bit more mobile. This is a great looking figure though. This is a really good Paul Bearer. Like, really good. So I bought like 1,000 of these. These are 8x6 bags that I'm gonna be throwing all this in. Um yeah. Yeah, so these are like the things you would see at like your typical comic book store. Um yeah, so he'll be sliding in there just like that. This will be great. The challenge in the future is going to be going through all the accessories and getting all the accessories right. I don't even know if I'm going to bother with hands because I have so many hands in a bucket. And Jurassic Express ringside exclusive box is just like halfway full with hands. So we'll see. We'll see. Here's Paul Heyman. Paul Bearer. Next, this is a Ricardo Rodriguez basic. This one's a cool looking one. I mean, I don't really think I'll ever use Alberto Del Rio in the Fed. So I don't know how much use he'll have. But yeah, his hair is a little bit discolored, and he's just a little bit worn from time. You can see like the dirt. I wonder if I should just give him a fig bath at some point. But yeah, he was probably why Alberto Del Rio got as over as he did back in the day. So yeah, I don't know what series this is. It's not a Build-A-Figure. I think it's just a basic series. Ricardo. This is a newer figure we got here. This is a 2-pack. What's up? This is from the 2-pack with Hulk Hogan. This is the Gene Okerlund with the updated articulation. What's up, DC? D-Cool. I'm not even gonna attempt to say that. This is from the 2-pack with Hulk Hogan that came out recently. The Mean Genomania Hulk. That one's in my crowd. But yeah, I really like this figure. This is a really nice looking Mean Gene. See if I can. The one thing I'll say is, doesn't always want to focus. There he is. Decaluzzi. Decaluzzi. We'll go with that. I'm also dyslexic, so that's that's not gonna be helpful, is it? Here he goes then to a bag. There he is, right there. Next up is the basic Corey Graves here. Really weird one because he's not doing a lot, but yeah, weird looking tattoos, weird not an amazing figure. He just had to build a figure too, so but yeah, there he is. He's got the white shoes. It's like from like that 2015 era. Yeah. And we'll throw him in a bag. So what I'm bagging right now is like the the post, these are mostly like suits and stuff. People who just are like managers or whatever. This actually isn't a wrestling figure. This is Gabriel Iglesias. My dad got me this figure a long time ago. I'll throw him in a bag. He came with a mic and everything. This is a really weird addition to my collection. But he's appeared in WWE multiple times, so it kind of works out, doesn't it? And you go. And there he is. Yeah, Survivor Series just happened. It was kind of... It happened. I felt like the strongest match was probably Dom and Cena. But the the thing I'm most interested in is seeing who the mystery man was. I think it might be Carmelo Hayes. Just based off the build of the guy who did it. But I'm not 100% on that. Here's Pat McAfee from a few basic series ago. He also had an elite, I believe. This figure is kind of trash, but it's nice. There he is, basic Pat McAfee. Here is, this is Eric Bischoff. This is the Ultimate Edition. Eric Bischoff from the Nitro ring. Decent little figure here. I have him in a referee shirt because that's what he was. He was the ref when he turned on William Regal and made Diesel the inaugural GSW champion. There he is. Good old Easy E. Going in. Here we have, this is Excalibur, AW announcer figure from Ringside Collectibles. This figure is really cool looking, really nice. There he goes into his new home. Here is Miss Elizabeth from the SummerSlam series, SummerSlam Elite line. Nice attire. She might be in GSW in the future. She might not be. You never know. There she is. Here is a Build-A-Figure of Paul Ellering. He's appeared in GSW once, I believe, with the Final Testament. A bit of a younger version of Paul Ellering there. There you go. Here is the bunny from his 2-pack with Adam Rose. I remember this pack from that same era, that 2015, 14, like that. It's the heel Adam Rose era, when he was being played by a good old Justin Gabriel. Barely fits in that bag. He's a tall guy. There's the bunny. Here's a newer basic of B-Fab with her vest. Nice little fig there. Here's a in-ring attire of a Bobby Heenan. A little bit beat up. Got the second hand. Older formula on the pinned joints and everything. Technically, when I was collecting hardcore back like a year ago, I was like, every figure has to be in ring attire if they have it. So this is technically the in ring attire for Bobby Heenan. Here's Rosa Mendez. I don't really remember much about her from her run. She was definitely around. I tend to get her and Oksana mixed up in my head. Oksana was with Cesaro. I remember that. But I can't even... She was with Primo and Epico for a little bit. That's what I remember about her run, was being with Primo and Epico. But I don't really remember anything she did with them, so I guess that says a lot. Here's Stacy Keibler from the Legends line. Not in love with this face scan, but it's a nice enough figure nonetheless. When she was a school teacher kind of character back in the day, 2000s era. All right, here is Joey Mercury from J&J Security, former GM of both Raw and NXT, because they got switched over time somehow. I messed that up when I was fetting. They just kind of swapped places. There he is. Here's that elite Johnny Knoxville with that weird extra bit of flab. I like this figure just because his body type is like so unconventional. He looks so really weird, really strange figure to get from WrestleMania 38. His match against Sami Zayn, which kind of propelled Sami into the superstar we know him as today. Here's Gronkowski, the one that came with the 24/7 title. Totally random figure to get. His legs are a little loosey-goosey here. I got this one in box too, so I got this one brand new, so and opened him up. There he is. Here's Elite 20-something Rey Mysterio. I'm not gonna put him in a bag just because he's broken already. You can't really tell, but he has a screw. Where does it start? Oh, it's right there. When I broke this as a child, they put a screw in his leg all the way through to the other side. You can see it. It's actually digging into the other side. So he's not really worth keeping nice or anything. Just keeping him around for like, I played with him a lot as a kid. So it's Elite something, Rey Mysterio. And next up, we have a headless Lou Albano. I'll have to find his head. This guy's head does not want to stay on. It's probably just somewhere in this bucket. Here's Brother Love from the Legends line. This is a really cool figure. Super fun. From Bruce Pritchard, his character in the 90s. For like a Undertaker debut, kind of. Here's Jamie Noble from J&J Security. From that 2-pack with Joey Mercury. Here is Cameron from the Funkadactyls. I remember the Funkadactyls a lot. I remember Brodus Clay a lot, even though he sucks as a human. I still remember Brodus and the Funkadactyls from their run back when I was a wee child. Here's one of the worst. No, she's mine. I'm sorry, bro. One of the worst figures, head scans in Mattel history. Here's Renee Young. Psychotic looking head scan. Oh my god. Just a terrible head for Renee here. Very unfortunate. One of the most prolific backstage interviewers, and they do her mad dirty with this basic here. Here is Bobby Heenan from the Legends line. Looking. Oh, this is what am I saying? This is Freddie Blassie, classy Freddie Blassie from the Legends line, with his chain and his big ass coat and his red pants. The suit articulation is always like way better than the normal articulation, which I think is really funny. Here he is. Here's Wise Man Paul Heyman from the Vault. It's the one that came with the Universal and the Blue Universal and the WWE Championship, the normal one. It's a nice figure. Modern Paul, I think this is like perfect for him. Even though I don't really remember, I guess he does normally wear navy. I guess I just usually think of him in a black suit most of the time. But he has worn navy blue suits quite a bit in his day. There's Paul. Here's one of the most hated characters in WWE history, who I think is a little bit overhated. Here is Vicky Guerrero, a very loose figure. Her chest is hanging in there. Yeah, but other than her being loose, like the figure itself aesthetically is fine looking. Not too much damage, just that looseness that some figures come with, unfortunately, especially back in that era. Here is Jimmy Hart on a Paul Heyman, like ECW Paul Heyman, Paulie Dangerously figure, basically. The reason his head is on here is this is actually the Jimmy Hart figure. His one arm just won't stay on. So if I ever need a Jimmy Hart to use, which I was thinking about, so I just threw this together. The Heyman head is around somewhere, and it would be easy just to pop that back on to make that complete. So here is Jimmy Hart. And he goes. I hope Lou Albano's head is in here. There it is. He's also got a bit of a rattly in it. Yeah, this head does not want to stay on this figure for the life of it. Like, it does not stay on at all. But here's Lou Albano, a figure that's not really worth anything because I don't think anyone really wants it. It's a cool figure, though. It's well done. It's just not very sought after, which is not why I collect. But I just remember getting the second hand for like $10 new in box. Like, yeah, here he is. All right, now we think we're on. We'll actually save some of these guys for later, just based on how I want to store everything. Move on to some of these guys over here. Here's a Santos Escobar basic in a Bro Kick Hooligan shirt, so we'll take that off. This is his first figure, I believe, or second maybe. I know the first Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro's came as other figures like this in like suits, so which I have somewhere. There he is. Basic. This is a new battle pack actually. Kofi and Xavier. I'm like a big Kofi guy. You'll see a lot of Kofis probably. So yeah, this was a must. Classic New Day attire. And they're getting more figures soon, like the green and the green Kofi and the black Xavier attire. So excited for those two. I wonder if these two will fit in a bag together. Without rubbing up against each other too much. I think they'll be fine. There's that battle pack. Here's an Ultimate Edition Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from the Coliseum collection. It's a little sticky. This is a really cool one. His robes around here somewhere. That's gonna be a process getting all their accessories back with them and all their heads and stuff, because I just was not keeping good track of that. Here's my first Becky Lynch basic. I remember when Becky like really started getting pushed, her figure was like really, a figure of her was really hard to get your hands on, so I was really happy when I found this one. Yeah, when she really took off in like WrestleMania 35 time when she main evented. Here you go. This is an awesome one. Fiend of Bray Wyatt. There he is from the SummerSlam Elite line. I think they're re-releasing this one. This is a basic John Cena in the green. I remember I ordered a bundle of figures and they threw that in because one of the figures I ordered they didn't have, so they literally just sent me this instead, which was fine. I didn't really need what the other figure in the bundle. I was buying it for, I believe, a basic Lars Sullivan, and like it came with two other figures, and I needed the Cena, so I didn't need whatever the other bundle was in there, so they threw this in as a bonus. Nice little figure. Here's basic or Elite Series, I want to say 8 or something. This is a really old Elite Kofi with the yellow and the pants. Really cool, very nice to have. Gotta keep these this boy looking nice. Here's a Greatest Hits Series Seth Rollins figure in the Shield attire. Really fun figure. I saw him on the shelf and I couldn't not buy him for some reason, even though I already have a Shield Seth. Just like the actual tactical Seth, the other Seth I have is like in the tank top. So I think just like this being like really prime Shield Seth Rollins really made me feel like I needed this one. I won't bother packing this up. This is a Mutt, I call them Mutt figures. This is a Mutt Sheamus. It's like I really wish I still had the Elite. That This is basically an Elite formula and a basic. Basically, like I had two Sheamus figures in bad shape, and I just needed one that would work. Now I have another Sheamus figure that looks good. But yeah, this is the Sheamus I used in the Fed early on. And it's sad that the other figure's kind of in crappy condition because this is a pretty rare Sheamus, the red Toys R Us, so we'll throw him off to the side too. Here's Kevin Nash from that 2-pack with Scott Hall. They've re-released this 2-pack multiple times, this NWO 2-pack. So yeah, they came with like spray paint. I got this set for Christmas, I remember that. There they are. Here's a basic Shawn Michaels. This came in like a 4-pack with like a Macho Man and like 2 other figures. They were like it was like a Legends basic set I got for Christmas one year. That's when I got my Elite scale ring too. So yeah. I think they were all re-releases of old basics, but this was my Shawn Michaels for a long time. I had an old, I believe it's an Entrance Greats Shawn Michaels, and that figure broke at some point. Don't ask me what this is. It's a Roddy Piper. Actually, I can take the head off. This is the basic, hands from a basic Randy Orton. This is the Lucha Lowrider Rey Mysterio. But this head goes on here. This basic Roddy Piper, who I used his hand for someone else, obviously. So we'll throw him off to the side too. Here's Zelina Vega from her 2-pack with Andrade. That Andrade should be around here somewhere. Oh, here's the Paulie Dangerously head. It's on a Kurt Angle basic, the one that came with Jason Jordan. Why some of these figures are the way they are, I can't even begin to explain to you how some of these ended up the way they are. So I think I have that Andrade lying around. I should put them together. If I can, we'll put her off to the side for now. Here's an old, this was my first Roman Reigns, old basic Roman Reigns. I actually have 2 of these because my mom accidentally got me 2 one year, which is fine. And then I remember I took the vest off one of them as a kid, and then it ended up being how he looked in the future, just kind of like the Shield pants, and then he was just shirtless. Yep, old Roman basic. Here's a Jax figure, one of my few Jax figures, Devon Dudley. This is a cool looking figure too. I actually used him in a match. He was in the United States Championship Battle Royal on like the 10th episode of GSW Raw. But yeah, there's Devon. Here's MVP from the basic in the suit from the Hurt Business, basically. I now have an Elite, so I don't really use this guy much. I think I used him in the Royal Rumble, though. He like came out with the Hurt Business, so he was on screen for like 2 seconds. There he is, MVP. Here's an old basic of Big E with a not great head, but a kind of cool. It's a cool attire. This is what I remember. He fought Rusev at a house show I went to, and this is kind of that era, that Big E Langston era. There he is. Here's the bottom of a Scarlet figure that I put on a different figure. Here's another kind of thrown together Rowan, because that original Rowan basic, the one in the green jumpsuit, is unusable for pick feds. It's just so immobile. So this is actually original. I can actually put the old Rome back together now, because that other Undertaker's in my crowd. But I'll do that at some point in the future. We'll throw them off to the side. Here's a Dexter Loomis basic. I got the new Elite Y at 6, so I'm not going to be using this guy anymore. Cool figure. I like Dexter Loomis a lot. I know a lot of people don't like Dexter Loomis for some reason. Not sure why. I've always had a soft spot for Dexter Loomis. I guess the thing he doesn't have any amazing matches I've seen yet. I guess he was in that amazing TLC match at SummerSlam. But yeah, here is a Kofi Kingston basic in the long pants. This is when he was a jobber galore, unfortunately. And I was always super upset about that. Because Kofi's my guy. Kofi's my favorite. Here's Kofi. Here's Elite 33 Seth, the one I was talking about earlier. The only thing this one's got going for him is he's got the blonde streak in his hair. Yeah, other than that, he's just a Seth. I think I have like 4 Seth Rollins, which is more than I do most of the time. I don't usually get multiples of figures, to be honest, except for Kofi, obviously. Off to the side he goes. Here's a Sasha Banks. I'm not even going to bother putting her in a bag. Her hand is broken. That whole thing there, that is a whole layer of super glue. So she's not worth keeping. Nice. This is an old WrestleMania basic of Hogan. My grandma got this for me for my birthday. This was right at the N-word scandal that happened. And she didn't want to give it to me because of that. But back then I didn't really know what that really entailed. It was a long time ago. That was like WrestleMania 30 time period. But yeah, it's like right when Hulk Hogan like left TNA, came back, and he was getting all kinds of merch. This is about the same time I believe he got his Defining Moments figure. Here's an AEW really cool looking one here. This is gonna be a complete Darby Allin. I have 2 of these accidentally. When I was on my collecting a lot streak, I ended up buying, I think, only once or twice. This is one of the times where I accidentally bought 2 of this, something I already had. So here's Darby. Let's keep going. This is Mandy Rose's first figure with a ginormous head. Absolutely humongous head. Yeah, humongous head. Here's humongous head. Mandy Rose. Here's an old basic Batista. He's in really good shape. This is not my childhood Batista. My childhood Batista was actually a red Batista, not blue Tista, red Tista. Red Tista has been on my Fed. This guy has not. This is like WrestleMania 30 era Batista, I would say. Here is my second basic Kane figure. I had another Kane like this. He's in my crowd actually. A Kane just like this, but like he had a crack in he had a butt crack basically, and his leg would pop out all the time. So this basically was just to replace that when I was a kid. It's the same figure, just with a slightly different head. I've used him in the Fed before. This is the Kane of my childhood, unfortunately. It was bald Kane, corporate Kane, and this Kane. For the Canes, I remember being a fan of as a kid. I liked Kane a lot as a kid. Not so much now. But that's for different reasons. Here's a really, really old basic Christian in purple. This was part of like this is when they did those Heritage series. So I believe this is a Royal Rumble Heritage series Christian. His head is glued on. So yeah, not much value here. This guy did not hold up over time. And I really didn't like Christian when I was a kid. I remember he jobbed out in my playing with figures. But this is a really cool figure to have. Just like it's a purple old Christian figure. Um, I wish he was in better shape, but he's not, and there's not much I can do about that now. But yeah, he did he did his duty. Since he is older, I guess I will put him in a bag, just because I don't want him to get more damage than he already is. Here's an old Christian. Here is a Battle Pack Series Cody Rhodes. This was This was the one I had as a kid. He came in a 2-pack with Gold Dust. This is like around them getting fired and brought back and fighting the Shield and fighting the New Age Outlaws. This was like that kind of era. Yeah, his arm's a little loose. He's got a little bit of discoloration on his arm, but still one I remember using a lot and being excited to have, because he was one of the first times I got like belts with figures. I remember old Shinsuke Nakamura basic. I believe this is a battle pack figure that came with, I wanna say it came with a Finn Balor, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. Actually, I don't think it was a Finn. Maybe an AJ? No, it wasn't AJ. Maybe it was Finn. I don't know. But this is a battle pack Shinsuke, the one I used at the beginning. Cool little Shinsuke. Here's Constable Corbin with the terrible head. He was totally bald and is totally not it's totally not a good figure. Just like a bad head scan on this guy. There he is. Okay, we've hit 10 o'clock. Do I want to keep going for a little bit? You know, I'm gonna call it for tonight. I'll probably do more a different day. Probably move some of these over here. And then we can do more another night. Yeah, I guess I'll just wrap talking about Survivor Series a little bit. It was a show that happened. That's really my thoughts on it. Nothing I was blown away by. It was it felt like a kind of just like a transitional show. Two of like my lesser favorite War Games matches. Neither of them were offensively bad. Neither of them blew me away though. That's kind of my 2 cents on it. On the whole thing. But yeah. I would say the best match was Dom and John. I really liked that match, and then Liv coming back to get some retribution and get Dom his title back. I thought that was cool. Yeah. Other than that, not really much to say. Stephanie carried Nikki to a good match. Don't know what the deal with Roman. I think they're setting up a Roman and Cody match for the future. Which, I mean, it could be a good match, but, you know, we've seen it twice. I guess the third time's the charm, maybe. But I feel like they really hit it out of the park at WrestleMania 40. So there's really not much need for them to fight again. Is kind of where I'm at emotionally, at least. Yeah. Maybe after tomorrow, or after Raw sometime next week. Or maybe I just won't stream this again. I don't know. You never know with me. I'll do some more of these. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I think I said my piece. Oh, Devon fell out of his bag already. On Survivor Series. It was fun. Um, I didn't hate watching it. I didn't think anything was amazing though. That's kind of how I'd sum it up. But yeah, thanks for tuning in or rewatching this. I need to start streaming more so people know to come to these and interact. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna go to bed. I have to work it and get up for work in like 6 hours. So, yep. See y'all when I see y'all.